It's time to take a look at another stealth setup. How's it going, everybody? This is Andy with AspenValleyVapes.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Movkin Disguiser Nano. Now, you guys have probably already seen the original Movkin, the 150 watt one, the Disguiser. There was a lot of mixed reviews on that, saying it was pretty big, a little too bulky for most people, but this one is the Nano version and it is much more sleek. We're going to do some comparisons in the up close to some similar mods, but this version right here, we're going to go over the basics first, then we're going to dive in, take a close-up look, see what it comes with, then we'll bring it back up top, talk about some pros, cons, and have a vape on the Movkin Disguiser Nano. Starting off, this mod does have a 2500 mAh internal battery. You cannot change the battery. It is charged via the micro USB port located right here on the side, as you can see. There is no screen on this Movkin Disguiser, as you guys will see in the close-up. It is just one button. That is all that there is on this device, and it's got a max output of 100 watts, but that's going to vary depending on what tank you have inside of there and the resistance of the coil. But the maximum output is 100 watts, and like I said, that's going to depend on what tank you have in there with what kind of resistance coil and the battery life of the actual mod itself. Right now I've got the JC22 tank in here, which is Movkin's tank. We'll talk about that here in a second, but you can fit most tanks in here up to 23 millimeters in diameter. So if you wanted to, you could put an RTA in here if you wanted to, if it was under that 23 millimeter diameter. Obviously that's going to vary if it is going to fit, but it will fit the majority of them. I did have the TFV8 Baby Beast in here earlier and it worked fine. It does come with this telescoping drip tip that we're going to show you in the close-up, and that's how it attaches to whatever tank you want to be in there. The minimum resistance on the Movkin Disguiser Nano is 0.1 ohms, and you can get this as a kit, which comes with the JC22, or you can get it by the mod itself and use your own tank in here. Like I said earlier, as long as it's under 23 millimeters, it should fit nice and snug in here. Since this is the whole kit though, we're going to go over the JC22. It is a 4 milliliter tank, and it does have top filling capability with this little telescopic version. I'm going to show you in the close-up, but you can fill it without even taking the top off. You can just slide it on up, put your liquid in there, and you're good to go. And this kit does come with two coils. It comes with a 0.3 ohm Kanthal coil and a 0.3 ohm stainless steel coil for the JC22. If I did miss anything there about the basic specs, please leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. But for now, let's dive in, take a close-up look, see what this kit comes with, and then we'll bring it back up top, have a vape on it, talk about some pros and cons. All right, so here we have the packaging on the Movkin Disguiser Nano. Let's take a look, open it on up here. So here you get a little printout of the Movkin Disguiser. It tells you how to use it, tells you about the telescopic little drip tip in there, all of that good stuff, getting your tank out, because I did have some problems getting it out. Tells you about changing the coils, all of that good stuff in there. And you gotta actually give them credit, because this is the nicest micro USB cable I've ever seen come with a vaping related product. They do give you one of these, and this is fantastic. It's actually really long too, so you will be able to vape it and charge it at the same time, and you will actually be able to have some distance between you and your outlet. So that is nice that they did include this high quality micro USB cord. And then you'll get the 0.3 ohm stainless steel coil. The 0.3 ohm Kanthal coil is installed. Take a close-up look at this coil here real quick. So here you can see the close spot on that coil. It does have some pretty big liquid intakes, as you can see here. And then you look down the center of the coil, you can see the coil wrapped in there and the organic cotton on the outside of the coil. Just pretty much your standard coil. Got some airflow there on the bottom. Like I said, they're not the best coils, but they're also not the worst coils. They're just a very average coil. Now here's the Movkin Disguiser itself. This is the white version. It does come in black and or a red version. This is the white one right here. Let's go ahead and have a look here. You can see the Movkin Disguiser Nano text right down there. Micro USB port right up top. You got some venting holes on the bottom. You've got your firing button on top that does light up when you do fire it, and that's also a battery indicator right there. The Disguiser part is held on by 4 magnets, as you can see right here, just magnetically into place. There is a tiny bit of rattle with this battery door, but not too much. It doesn't fit 100%. I'm sure you can hear that just a tiny bit. It's not a deal breaker. It's not anything insane. It's not like it's shaking violently back and forth, but there is just a tiny bit of rattle there. Take that off. You can see the JC22 tank in here. There's a 4 milliliter e-liquid top filling standard sub-ohm tank. Nothing too fancy there. Here you can see that telescopic drip tip. You see how it's going up like that? That's so you can use something like the TFV8 Baby Beast, where it comes down to about here, and then you use this telescopic drip tip to attach to your drip tip. So that is a really cool feature, how you can use your own tank on here, and I would suggest your own tank, but that is just my personal opinion. If you do want to get the kit just so you have everything together, it's not a terrible tank at all, but like I've said numerous times, there are better options out there. So to get the mod actually out of here, you're going to want to pull off this top drip tip right here. Once you have that pulled off, you can just unscrew the tank from the base. Pop it out. And then you can pop another tank in there very easily. Here's the Baby Beast, for example. You can pop that in there. So now I've got the Baby Beast screwed in there. You're going to want to take the drip tip off, obviously. And then you're going to put this telescopic drip tip on there. See how it scrolls down like that? Pull it up to however you want it. You can have it all the way exposed. You can have it down like that. But you'll be able to use your Baby Beast without a problem, just like that. So that is really cool. It does give you the option to use your own tank on a small side-by-side mod like this. Here's it next to the Kangertech Cupty, for example. This is my Cupty right here. You can see the size comparison. It's a little bit shorter. It is a little bit wider, but it has still got a very sleek, low profile. And you'll also be able to use your own tank, obviously, in here, so you won't be restricted to the CL/OCC coils if you don't like that. You'll be able to use whichever tank you want, or you could use an RTA in here. So if you want a portable RTA side-by-side, this is a perfect setup. Pop your RTA in there as long as it's not bigger than 23 millimeters. Slide this on, and then you've got a stealthy little RTA setup there. So it is overall a very cool device, very simple, as you guys can see. It does have one firing button, and that is it. It does have a nice little finish on it, where the Cupty right here, it's got this shiny little smooth feel to it. This is more of a textured finish on here compared to this smooth glossy finish, and it does give you a nice grip on the device. Here's the side-by-side again, just so you can see that real quick. Here it is next to a dual 18650. This is the Sigeli 213, for example. That is pretty much it though on the close-up. If I did miss something that you were looking for, please leave a comment down below and I'll be happy to get back to you. But for now, let's bring it back up top, talk about some pros, cons, and have a vape on this Movkin Disguiser Nano. Alright, now that we wrapped up that close-up, let's get on to the pros and cons, starting off with the cons. My first con is going to be the fact that the telescopic drip tip, I feel like it could be made a little bit higher quality. It feels a little cheap, and it feels like it could be made a little bit better when you are using it with your own tank, like when I had the Baby Beast in there. It just seems a little bit off. I wish they would have improved the quality on that a little bit, but I do understand it's some new technology. It's not the easiest to work out the way they have this whole system playing out. But it is good to see innovation like this from new companies out there. But it just feels a little loose sometimes, and it can be a pain to get it up and down. It is made out of plastic, and it does feel very plasticky. I wish they would have just done something to it to make it a little bit more sturdy and just have a little bit more heft to it, I guess you would say. But that is going to be my first con on this little Disguiser kit. My second con is the location of the firing button, because when you grip it like this, you're actually covering the airflow of whatever tank you have in there. Fire button would have been better suited on one of these sides, maybe right here or right here, because then you're not gripping the mod like this and covering up the airflow of whatever tank you have inside of this little compartment. So that is going to be my second con. I just don't know if it's the best position for the firing button. Full of holes, and I might not be recognizing it, and I'm wondering why it's drawing so hard. And then I look down and my hands are over those airflow slots down there. My third con, since I'm doing this whole kit, is going to be the tank itself. It's just got mediocre flavor and vapor reduction. It's not like it's bad, it's just not good. They're just in the middle of the road tank. There are a lot better tanks out there, but there's also a lot of worse tanks out there. It's just your basic sub-ohm tank. The airflow could probably be improved a little bit. I'm not the biggest fan of the coils in here. And like I said, it's not a bad tank. It's not like the flavor's bad or the coils are bad or anything like that. It's just not what some of the other tanks on the market these days are up to. You can buy this little setup with the actual tank, the JC22, and you can buy it without the JC22 as well. I would personally recommend going out without the JC22 and then putting your own tank in here, maybe an RTA, or like I had the Baby Beast in here. It was working good with that. The Baby Beast does sit a little bit lower, so you have to have this telescopic drip tip go up pretty high, but it does still fit in there and it was working pretty darn good. On to the pros. If you guys have been watching my videos for a while now, you know I love the small compact devices. I still use my Cupty a lot. So what this does, this mod right here, it allows me to use a different tank, something with better performance than say the Cupty coils. It allows me to do that, but have it in the same size, a little bit smaller even. Yeah, it doesn't have as much e-liquid capacity as the Cupty does, depending on what tank you're using, but it just allows you for a little bit more customization while keeping that low profile. I would much rather my setup be a little bit wider than taller, so that is why I like this style right here. And with this, like I said, I can put that Baby Beast in there and I'll be good to go, and that's going to be my first pro. That is a big pro because I do like this form factor. It does fit nice in the hand, minus that little airflow portion right there. You just got to make sure you're not covering that up depending on what tank you're using. My second pro is going to be the simplicity of it. It's got one button, 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off, 1 click to fire. That's all you need to do. That is going to be my second pro. It's a good pro because it's just nice and simple to use. You don't have to worry about changing any of the settings. The chip inside of here does it for you, and the chip comes with overcharge protection, overcurrent protection, low resistance protection, and all those protections built in place. So they do have a lot of safety features on this chip as well. So that's going to be my second and final pro. Enough talking though, let's go ahead and have a vape on the Movkin Disguiser Nano. So right now I've got the 0.3 ohm Canthal coil that comes standard with the JC22 tank in there. We're going to go ahead and have a vape on it. You notice how I am holding that a little bit differently because of the location of this. I don't want to cover the airflow hole, so I'm sort of holding it like this when I vape it. It's a little bit weird there, but you can still hold it like this. You just got to make sure to not cover up the airflow holes of whatever tank you do have inside in there. So if you hold it like this, you will be good. Let's go ahead and have another vape on it. So from this JC22 tank, it has got some good vapor production. It's nothing crazy or anything like that, but it's decent, and the flavor, it's decent as well. I'm not gonna say it's bad, I'm not gonna say it's really good either. It's just that middle of the pack, as I said earlier, sub-ohm tank, nothing crazy about it. I would personally like pairing this better with something like I said, the TFV Baby Beast in there. That's my personal style though. That is gonna wrap this video up though. If you guys did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. If there's any products you do want to see reviewed, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get them up there. If you want to see some comparison videos or something like that, let me know down in the comments. But as always, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and vape on.